1, 2, 3, clap. Hi, and welcome to Hey Buddy, Nice Podcast. Over there, killing all the other immortals because there can only be one, that's Brogan Hastings.
And killing all the stingrays to avenge Australia's beloved Steve Irwin is Wayne Giovinazzi.
I mean, yeah, sure, some people do beloved Steve Irwin.
I know you have feelings about Steve Irwin. I was reluctant to say that, intro, but I felt it fit.
By feelings, you're not referring to feelings deep within my loins or anything. It's
No,
feelings,
no.
Yeah.
Feelings is the polite way of saying burning hatred.
I don't have a burning hatred for Steve Irwin. I didn't even know the guy.
It's not good feelings.
No, I mean, look, enough said. I don't even remember we talked about that last episode. We were going to, it might have ended up in bonus content. I don't even care, but we're not talking about that. So how are you, Brogan?
I'm all right. It's been a while since we've actually said how are you, because we usually just go into rambling talks. How are you, Wayne? What's up?
Yeah.
How's it hanging?
That's a bit of a personal question to ask, isn't it?
Don't make this dirty. My mother listens to this podcast.
It's not about. That is literally what that question is referring to. Have you not seen the movie Liar Liar with Jim Carrey?
No.
Where someone said, you haven't seen it? Well, basically, I don't know, there's magic voodoo wish or something and you can't tell a lie.
I've seen the movie, but I don't remember this bit.
Oh, yeah, someone says, hey, how's it hanging? His reply is short, shriveled, and to the left.
Oh, I did not know that. No,
so that's, yeah.
I was thinking about the little cat hanging off the thing, hanging there.
That would be like, how's it hanging in there? That sounds worse.
Yeah. I thought it was shortened from that. So, yeah.
You're never going to be able to say, how's it hanging to anyone ever again.
No, I can't.
Look, but then you can think it's like surfer talk, like hang 10, where like, do you know what hang 10 is?
I have no idea.
You got 10 toes and they're like hanging off the edge of the board.
Oh, I didn't know your toes hung off the board when you surfed.
I've never surfed. See, I don't even like hang 10 because I used to work with a guy, Graham, an older guy, older than me. He just, one day out of nowhere, he says, I don't hang 10, I hang 11. Yeah. It's like, dude, why are you saying this shit to me?
What I hear there is, I have an extra toe.
Yes,
and that's a
has
fact I did not need to know.
Yeah, let's go with that. Actually, no, that is not how that played out because I did not know the origins of hang 10. That's when I learnt what it meant by hanging 10 with your toes hanging over the edge. I looked at him blankly and he's like, oh, you don't get it? It's like, no, I don't. It's like, well, you know what hanging 10 is? It's like, surfing. And that's when he explained it to me. And then he had to go into full depth and say, well, I hang 11 because, and then like, gestures and things like that. But yeah, that's, yeah. All right. So let's move on. What have we brought up so far? We're talking about movies, Liar Liar. So let's stick with that. And Highlander. Let's go with that, hey? Highlander, the movie. Have you ever seen the Highlander movies? The trilogy. It's more than a trilogy, actually. I think there's 4 Highlander movies. Have you seen any of them?
Now, I'm aware of them, and I think I've seen the first one years and years ago, but I only have a vague recollection of it. I know it's something I should rewatch.
I think I own the first 2 on DVD, and in fact, one of them, my friend Shannon, still has for the last 12 years or so that he keeps in his house. It's probably one of those ones, the DVD that I bought and never watched. I was thinking about that the other day, actually. I can't remember why. I was listening to music on Spotify and Kong by Tenacious D was playing. And I remembered how I purchased the DVD of King Kong. Never watched it. So nothing is new with Netflix and having a list that you don't watch stuff in. It's the same old for me. And it's like I'd buy DVDs that never been seen.
Yeah, I don't buy as many DVDs before as I do now, and usually if I do, it's something that I can't get on Netflix, can't get on Amazon Prime, something that I definitely can't get digitally, or something that I really love that I'm worried will be removed digitally. Special editions or anything like that. So
I think, yeah, the last thing the last Blu-ray I bought was probably, this is before there was like controversy. It was Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and I haven't watched it either. And before that, it was like a big Harry Potter collection. They were the last things I bought. And then I feel kind of icky about buying any others. I say, as you can see, the spread behind me.
all but pre-controversy.
Yes, that's right.
When I buy things like
not mine anyway.
when I buy things like DVDs, I tend to I collect steelbooks.
Okay, yes.
And I say specifically steelbooks because I do have I do have one that in particular that's very collectible, and it is worth a mint. Now, I think it's worth at least 350 quid last time I checked.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So weird. I was looking online. No, I wasn't actually looking. It just popped up on Facebook when I logged in to do housekeeping on Hey Buddy Nice podcast page. It's people selling stuff that I own for like... No, mate, you're not going to get that much for that. Maybe that. I don't know. I don't know the retro game industry, but I was surprised at how much they were asking for a Game Boy Advance game.
Oh, Game Boy Advance games are pretty pricey now.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm not selling them anyway. But yeah, it's crazy how things are priced.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 350 quid, you could sell yours for, you reckon, this steel book? Without anything in it, just the steel book case?
Oh, it's got the DVDs in it, but I think the whole the DVDs could easily be replaced. I'll say that because it's the same collection. Hang on. Move over to the steel bookshelf.
Brogan is approaching the bookshelf. Brogan has returned from the bookshelf.
It's Doctor Who Series 9 steelbook.
Ah, Doctor Whom. With, what's his face?
Capaldi.
You know. No, damn it. I was going to go with, I couldn't remember
Malcolm Tucker.
Lewis Capaldi's name. I was going to say Lewis Capaldi's dad.
I think it's his uncle or his cousin. They're related
Yeah, I think
anyway.
it is his uncle. Yeah.
But yes, I had to get this one on eBay. It's in a nice plastic case as well.
See, that's an all right steelbook. It's nice and thick. So the steelbooks I'm familiar with are either video game steelbooks from like the Xbox 360, PS3 era, and DVDs around then, where they're just like flimsy pieces of crap. And they're just you get them, you buy them, and they're already warped.
Yeah, I've got a couple like that where it's like, I think I've got a steelbook for Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2, and that fighting game, the anime fighting game Jump Force one that I like. Yeah. It's not Jump Force, but it's the one before it.
Okay. Is it a game that you have platinumed?
I have. Platinumed it twice.
There we go. Really?
Yeah.
So how do you in different profiles or something?
Yeah, platinumed it on my old account, and that's how I knew I could do it on this one.
You're infecting me. You know that, right? Because I played through Portal, the original Portal, last week before we recorded, and it didn't get brought up because I was going to say, look, you can play it within a matter of hours, even if you haven't played it before, and you can get through it. And then I'm most of the way through the second one now, and I'm playing on Steam, and I see the achievements, and I'm like, I do want to get them all. It's your fault.
Yeah. Sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's not. Like, I'm in the process of playing Stray just now.
Ah, yes.
Really good game.
Cat game.
Yeah, it's not what I thought it would be. I thought it would feel more like a big game. And it's not. It's very small, very indie. Pretty good. I'm quite enjoying it. Not one of my favourite games I've ever played, but certainly a very, very good game. And most of the achievements are pretty easy. Apart from one where it was, don't get caught in the first chase.
Oh, really? I managed to not get caught in that first chase.
At all?
Yeah. It's like even before you meet the robot, like your backpack robot friend. It's before that even. Yeah.
It took me like 40 tries. I think it literally took me an hour of going back, of like resetting the checkpoint.
I mean, when it says don't get caught, like some of the weird rat creatures jumped on me at some point, but I got them off of me.
No, it's without them jumping.
Without them touching you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's very different.
It was very hard.
How and in terms of platinuming it, the only game I've ever platinumed is the Astrobot game on PS5. How would you compare it to that?
Game.
Yeah, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
But how hard in comparison?
Oh, like, so if that's a 1 and Bloodborne's a 10, this is probably about a 4 or a 4 maybe.
Okay.
Like, and probably only because of that catching achievement. If it wasn't for that, it would be a lot lower, because most of them, there's chapter select, so you can't really miss anything. You just go back.
Oh, that's good.
And forward. It's a really short game. It's mostly just fetch. It's mostly just fetch quests. Scratch everything.
Okay.
Be nice to people.
Kind of gameplay. Oh, I do like the scratch feature in Stray. Any rug I come across is like. What I don't like about the game is the inability to jump on command at will.
I hate that. I really hate that.
It's just prompts to say you can jump to here, and that's a bit annoying.
And I don't like that sometimes, like, even if the cat's facing the right way, if your camera's not, it won't pick up the prompt. And I'm like,
Yeah. Yep. But then again, it does have a dedicated meow button, and you can meow non-stop.
That's true. And there is an achievement for meowing 100 times.
Oh, I'm sure I got that within the first 5 minutes of the game. This is meow, 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 meow.
So I think that one's on its way to platinum. I just need to finish it within 2 hours. But it's when you know what you're doing and you know what you're looking for, and you don't have to go around talking to people to find things out, then, it's no big deal.
Apparently, because the talking to people part, it's an all right story to the game. Apparently, I don't know. I haven't played it.
I think it feels like the story's too big for the game itself.
Okay.
It feels like there's a lot missing, and I get that not everything has to be explained, but some of it's just like too big to ignore.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's this really creepy bit that is never touched on afterwards. I think I know what it is, but it's never explained.
Is it never touched on, or you just haven't possibly stumbled across it?
No, it's never. Nobody explains it because there's nobody to explain it.
Setting up for Stray 2, the strayening. Stray 2, the quickening. Speaking of Highlander, so you haven't. You reckon you've seen Highlander, but you don't really remember.
Yeah.
I have got the Sword of the Immortals from the Highlander movie.
You said this to Paul right enough.
Yeah, that's right. I can't remember if that was on recording or after the fact, but yes, I do have a replica of the Sword of the Immortals. It's not the best replica, but it's still pretty cool.
I think
it's the sword that you think any kind of sword is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is the sword that Sean Connery bestows upon Christopher Lambert, or I guess should probably call them by their character names because it wasn't in real life, was it?
I mean, Sean Connery just plays Sean Connery, so that one's fine.
Sean Connery plays Ramirez, and he bestows Connor MacLeod with the Sword of the Immortals, which was forged for him by some Japanese dude. So it's been a long time. It's been at least a decade since I've seen, probably longer since I've seen Highlander. I actually think I saw Highlander 2 before I saw Highlander 1. And that really fucked with me because it fucked with me in the inverse way that the Highlander franchises fucks with people normally. Right?
Uh-huh.
So let's talk about it in terms of the order of release. So Highlander, it's about this guy who is immortal, discovers he's immortal, is in like 16th century Scotland, and he dies on the battlefield. But then it's like he doesn't die; he like comes back to life because the only way you can kill an immortal is by decapitation. And that's why they're all running around with swords, cutting each other's heads off. And Ramirez, Sean Connery's character, I don't know, he just appears out of nowhere or something. This is how well I remember it, and explains everything about is an immortal, how they've been around for a long, long time, and when there is only one left, their prize is they become immortal, not immortal. They become mortal. So that means they can live a full life because as an immortal, they lack the ability to, procreate and things like that. So it just makes them a human, basically. And spoiler, the Highlander wins, because it's called the quickening when there's only a few left, and they all start to sort of just naturally congregate to the same place, the immortals, to have like a big battle. And Highlander 2 is called the quickening because the plot of Highlander 2 fucks up the plot of Highlander 1. And it's it doesn't really fuck it up, but it threw people for a loop because Highlander 2, Christopher Lambert, he's grown old. He's an old man. He's working for a company that I can't remember. I don't remember the details, but what happens is it's explained that the immortals are actually aliens that have been punished, sort of like how Australia was founded, where the Brits sent over all their convicts to Australia. This is like aliens that have been sent to the Earth, and they are immortal, either because they're on Earth or they're always immortal. I don't know. And people are like, what the fuck is this shit with them being aliens? This is stupid. And because in the movie, there's like, I don't know, magic portals. Some of the aliens come to Earth. So Christopher Lambert is no longer the last immortal. So for some reason, he just de-ages back to normal age Christopher Lambert. So he was, the movie is cringe, but it's I love it. It's a good movie because it's so terrible and good to riff against and make fun of. Yeah. And Sean Connery, spoilers, in the first movie, Sean Connery dies. He comes back to life in the second one, and I don't know why.
Because they can't have a Highlander movie without Sean Connery.
Oh no, they can. They have 2 more Highlander movies without Sean Connery.
Were they any good? No.
No, the last 2 were terrible. So he's now no longer the last Highlander, and apparently now they're all aliens. Since then, I think possibly between 2 or 3, at some point, there's a Highlander TV series as well.
Well, this rings a bell.
Yeah, and I don't know how much Christopher Lambert was in it, but some other guy was in it. This might be after Highlander 3. But Highlander 3, actually, Highlander 2 was so bad that people hated this alien talk and all that. The director, probably around 2007, 2008, re-released a version of it, a cut, where they removed all reference of them like being aliens and shit. So completely different movie.
So this is the Highlander equivalent of that Rocky IV re-release without the robot sex.
Without the sex robot, yeah. Same director. I don't know that. Don't quote me, and do not fact check me on that. But of course, the Highlander wins again. I don't remember if he turns old. I think he stays young. Because there's obviously another love interest for whatever reason. Yeah. I'm not going to... No, I was going to mention something that seems to be a recurring theme, but it's not appropriate. In Christopher Lambert go-to in movies, which I will avoid talking about. But so here's one Highlander 2. I don't remember if he comes back to being becoming mortal again. But Highlander 3 fucking ruins Highlander 2 because it is discovered that the big bad guy that he killed in number 1 was not actually the second last immortal. There was another immortal holed up in a cave somewhere. That means if he killed the Kurgan, the bad guy from the first movie, and won mortality, how is that possible if this guy was in a cave somewhere all the fucking long? Mario Van Peebles was holed up in a cave that he couldn't get out of. That's right, it was Mario Van Peebles. Now, don't quote me on this because I don't know if it's fact or not, but the first film The soundtrack was done by Queen. And there's some good songs in there. There's like Who Wants to Live Forever is the theme to Highlander. Mm-hmm. Apparently, I was told this by some New Zealand guy when he was very drunk and wasted. He said, apparently, Guns N' Roses was approached to do the theme, not just the theme, but the whole soundtrack for Highlander 3. Ooh. And they were on board until they learned that Mario Van Peebles was going to be in it because someone in the band is racist. I don't know. I'm saying fifth-hand information here. This is from the guy who would do Lines of Coke with Eccleston after filming on Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give him a shout out because I've said some things about him. But yeah, so Highlander 3 ruins the possibility of Highlander 2 existing, which is kind of weird for Highlander 1. Mm. But not just that. Highlander 4 fucks the whole timeline. Because Highlander 4, it must be. The TV series must have come between 3 and 4. Mm-hmm. Because number 4, Christopher Lambert's in it, and the guy from the TV series as well. Because they're related. Magically, they're both immortals, but are related. Mm-hmm. Like, what's the chances of that? It's like, if immortals are scattered all over the fucking earth, chances that your third cousin is also going to be one, I think that's pretty low chances. Mm-hmm. But, more spoilers, in the 4th movie, Connor McLeod dies. And this is taking place after the 3rd movie, but before the 2nd movie. Because the 2nd movie is in the future when he has won the prize and is immortal. How is that possible? If he dies, that means he cannot have defeated any of the... He couldn't have beat the Kurgan to become immortal. He couldn't have been number 2 as an old man. Number 3, what's the fucking point of Mario Van Peebles showing up if... None of it makes sense. It just does not make sense. But I love Highlander 1 and 2.
And this has been Highlander Talk with Wayne.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is the exact energy. Whenever we get a guest on, this is the exact energy I want. I want them to come on and explain something with the passion that you've explained to Highlander.
That's right. And off the cuff, not knowing all the facts because it's been so long since I've seen the movies. Explanation of what's going on and why there are time paradoxes. I saw Highlander 4 in the cinema, and at the time I was like, this is bullshit.
When did Highlander 4 come out?
Okay. To the internet. Hang on. When did Highlander 4 come out? I don't remember what the Highlander Endgame is what it's called. September 1, year 2000.
Ooh. So I would have been 9.
22 years ago.
22 years? Yeah.
We are in the year of our Lord, 2022.
I would have been 6, not 9. So yeah, I definitely didn't see that.
In the year 2000, I was in grade 10 in high school, which I don't know how, like 14? I don't know. I'm not, math is not a strong suit right now.
Yeah, you're about 6 or 7 years older than me, so that's... Yeah, because you're 7 years older than me. And I would have been 7 because 3 plus 7 is 10, which is 2000, yeah.
Which means 7 plus 7 is, hang on, let me use my fingers, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I would have been 14. Yeah. Depending if it was August or not. It was September, so yes, I would have been 14.
Yeah. I remember there's 7 years between us because it's the same age difference as Penn and Teller, which makes me laugh.
That's right, you've mentioned that. Yeah. Except I've never been a Latin teacher.
You're also the Penn of the two of us, let's be honest. You're the talker, you're taller.
I don't know, we both talk. This would be a pretty odd podcast if it was just me talking.
Oh, Teller can talk, but silently. You're the talker. And
okay.
I mean, between the two of us, who has stabby little bitch energy? It's me. I'm Teller.
Yeah, right. Valid. Okay, then. If we're talking about age differences, etc., and we've talked some video games already, what was the first video game console you played and or owned?
Ooh, played. No. I'm not 100% sure. I think...
I just want to clarify as well. This does not necessarily include, like, oh, this is the one that released. I mean, like, for me, it was the first one I played would have been an Atari 2600, which was out well before the like other video game systems existed.
Oh, yeah. I think it might have been. The reason I'm not sure is because I know that the first game console that we owned, and I mean, I'm using game console like not including like handhelds. I'm talking like, you know, big systems. The first one that we owned was a PlayStation 2.
Okay.
But I don't know if we got that before or after. I have a vivid memory of standing in like a Curry's PC World. I was out with my mom and my grandma. They were looking for something. I was standing there playing those big console things, and it was an Xbox, and I played Fable.
Oh, okay,
like,
yes.
This is great. And then I, you know, years and years and years, because obviously it was an Xbox only title, couldn't get it on PlayStation.
Yeah.
I finally got an Xbox 360, found Fable 2 on sale. I was like, yes, I'm going to play this. And I was like, this is horrible. This is so horrible.
Did it feel like the game was no longer relevant? Like it felt aged? It felt its age?
It wasn't even that. Have you ever played Fable 2?
No, I've not played any of the Fable games.
So Fable 2 starts off, you're playing as a little boy and your big sister, she's got a fucking Cockney accent. Pisses me the fuck off. Little Sparrow, come on, little Sparrow. And she keeps calling you Little Sparrow. And I'm like...
Oh, yes, yeah. I recall this.
Honestly, and it's like half an hour of this nonsense. And she dies, and you're supposed to feel sad about the fact that she's died. I couldn't give a shit. I was so happy. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Get that Cockney voice out.
Yeah, and then everything's permanent. Every choice she makes permanent. And I'm like, I felt sad for this woman at a bar who had been stood up. So I proposed to her, and I'm like, oh shit, this is permanent.
See,
restart.
Me and Shannon, we have a hate relationship with Fable because well before it came out, we talked about our ideas for making a video game. And one of them was where your choices would affect your reputation within the world and things like that. And your physical appearance would morph if you're good or bad. So we were like, Peter Platinum, Monoyu, what's his name?
I have no idea. Peter, what's his face?
Lionhead Studios. Anyway, Peter Monoyu. I don't know.
Montague?
Anyway, he was listening in on our conversations. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's funny you say that as well, because when Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire came out, I always thought it would be really funny if they done a Pokemon Diamond, because Diamond is my birthstone. And then, years and years later, what comes out? Pokemon Diamond. And I'm like, that was my idea, bitches.
Because Diamond is like the merging of the two or something, isn't it? The two games. Like you had Pokemon Blue and Pokemon Red, and then Pokemon Yellow came out.
Yeah, so there's always one that's off to the side. So there's Red and Blue and Yellow, Ruby and Sapphire, Emerald, Diamond and Platinum, no, Diamond and Pearl, and then Platinum.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the only one that didn't have one off to the side was Sun and Moon.
Did Black and White? There wasn't a grey.
No.
Sword and Shield don't either.
No. Did X and Y? There wasn't a Pokemon Z, so I don't think so. They kind of stopped doing that.
It's not my forte. I don't know enough about Pokemon.
No, I
because
stopped
I'm
playing.
Terrible at it.
I'm quite good at it because I'm a completionist, you know. So, but I stopped playing Pokemon for ages after I took Pokemon Sapphire in just primary school when I was playing it, and somebody stole it.
Oh
and
no!
So pissed.
Man.
But I never played. Now, if that was before, it was around the same time anyway. Whenever Fire Red and Leaf Green came out, I had Fire Red as well. If it was just after I had that, that was the last one I played. If Sapphire was out, that was the last one I played. I never played any of the Diamond, Pearl, Black and White, X and Y, but I did play Pokemon Sun. I loved that game. I loved that game so much. I got Ultra Sun right after, like as soon as they were like, do you want to play this game again? But better? I was like, I sure fucking do.
See, I think I tried to play one of the DS re-releases, whichever one it was. shiny.
Oh, Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I forgot.
Heart Gold, yeah.
I forgot to say Gold and Silver.
Yeah. Soul Silver was the first Pokemon game I actually tried to play. Mm-hmm. I must have played for like 3 or 4 hours. Considerable amount of time, right? You think, okay, 4 hours of game time. How far do you think I got in the game?
I think you got as far as the first village.
I could not beat the first gym leader. Yeah. I had no idea. I don't know what I'm doing. There's people who know what types are good against what and shit. I just don't.
Sometimes it's kind of obvious. Like, obviously, water beats fire.
Yeah.
But sometimes
even when I was playing sword and or shield, whichever it was, I'm still referring to my phone app to say, okay, yep, let's go for this type because they're going to have these.
Yeah. I just like to level up all my Pokemon so that it's like so unfair. Like, I'm going into, a level 40 gym leader. It's like, oh yeah, this is going to be really tough. And just like pull out the level 100 Pikachu I had from the start.
Yeah. So your Pokemon are like those, a while ago we were looking up the figurines of the buff Pokemon.
Yep, pretty much.
Yep.
Pretty much. I like to well over level because I don't like to stress about these things.
Yeah.
I like to play and capture the nice little animal things.
See, I think I should like Pokemon more than I do the video game.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy like Paper Mario and those sort of games. In terms of the battle system.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit different, but still, you'd think I would enjoy it. But I mean, I don't hate it. I just,
Did you play Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee?
I started it and it just, it was a bit too basic for me.
I really liked that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the classic. I didn't like Sword and Shield and I was so annoyed.
Yeah.
Because
I'm going to try the new one when it comes out.
Yeah, Scarlet and Violet.
Whatever they are, yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep trying, and I should have I think I'm more annoyed about Sword and Shields because it was obviously set in the UK. The Pokemon is a dog with a sword. What is not to like? And it was just bad. I hate the whole your companion, your rival isn't your rival, it's your best friend, and
yeah,
I hate all that. I'm like, no, give me back Gary.
We can make each other stronger. Friendship.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, if you want to, make each other stronger, maybe you should pick the one that's the opposite type to mine. Like maybe if I'm picking a fire Pokemon, don't pick the leaf one.
Yeah. So, Fable on Xbox, right? You played this. I'm just backtracking because Curry's PC World.
Yeah. Do you not have this?
So you can buy a brand new motherboard and also a nice Vindaloo at the same time.
No, Curry's is just an electronics store. I think it is literally just called Curry's now.
But it is Curry? Curry? Apostrophe S?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was not mishearing. It is Curry's.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. I mean, it could have been as far back that it was Dixon's, which is a throwback.
You were so close to saying Dick Smith's, which is that is where I worked with Graham, who told me about Hanging 11, Dick Smith Electronics.
No, this was Dixon's, which I mostly remember because they used to have one in a shopping centre called The Guile, which still exists, and it's where I park.
The Guile.
The Guile shopping centre in Edinburgh.
Okay, so Guile could either be like Guile from Street Fighter, or it could be a Scottish way of saying girl. And actually, no, that sounds more Irish, saying Guile.
Guile. Yeah, nah, I don't know. Gyle, anyway.
Neither then.
Guile shopping centre, there used to be one. Guile's been around for years. But there used to be a Dixon's in there. And I remember they used to sell Pokemon figures at one point. And I got a James from Team Rocket.
That's cool.
That I've still got somewhere. He's still kicking about.
I remember I think it was around my birthday, and me and my mother, we were in the city just looking for things for me to be purchased for my birthday. And there was like some weird little store, and we went in there, and this was probably... No, it wasn't one of the first Pokemon things I got. It cost 50 cents, and it was a little Pikachu sticker.
Oh.
But no, the first Pokemon thing I got was, I think he's been on CatCam before as a little Pikachu plushie.
I remember.
He would squeak when you would shake him, which doesn't make any sense for Pikachu. I mean, I guess if you picked up an electric mouse and shook it, it would probably squeak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, I know that the first handheld console we ever got was Game Boy Color.
Okay.
And we got it on holiday. So I think it was legit. I think it was a legit console. I have no idea.
Oh, probably.
But certainly the games you got. Do you remember those compilation games that was like 50 games on one cartridge?
50 in one, yeah.
Yeah, I missed those games. They were good.
So is this in the era of Game Boy Color, though? This is pre-Game Boy Advance release?
Oh, yeah, well before. Like 97 maybe. Whenever Game Boy Color came out, we had it.
Yeah.
But we got it on holiday, we got those cartridges, and one of the cartridges had Pokemon Yellow on it. And that Christmas, my Uncle Graham, owner of Rolo.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yes, Uncle Graham got me Pokemon Red and Mitchell Pokemon Blue. And I still have that game cartridge.
Good. You should never get rid of game cartridges, really.
It's got a level 100 Charizard on it. I remember because my neighbour swapped it to me when I still had like 2 badges.
Oh, okay.
So it kept falling asleep. Very anime accurate.
Yes, yeah. The first handheld console I had was the Game Boy Advance because I never really cared for the Game Boy or Game Boy Color. It just didn't appeal to me. And I purchased it with my own money because I was working at the time. I say working at the time. I had a part-time job while I was in school.
Yeah.
And it was literally Nintendo's marketing that made me want it. And it was, one of them was an ad for Super Mario Advance where it's a Japanese guy waiting in an airport or something. And it's like, there's a voiceover that says, pluck vegetables from the ground and throw them at your enemies. And the guy just picks this turnip up out of the ground and throws it at some dude. And it's like, pick up enemies and throw them at your other enemies. And he picks up this guy and throws it at another guy. And I don't remember what the Mario Kart ad was as well, but it was like, yep, I think I'm going to buy a Game Boy Advance. So I purchased a Game Boy Advance and Mario Kart. Super Circuit.
I did have the Game Boy Advance. I think Game Boy Advance was my favourite console. It certainly had a lot of my favourite informative games on there, including a lot of Dragon Ball ones.
Forget the games. Forget the games. Which colour console was it?
Silver.
Oh, see, mine was that sort of translucent purple.
I knew you were going to say that. I don't know why.
Like that.
But
yeah. In having said that, I do have a silver one as well. These are the perks of having worked in a video game store. Is this was no longer the age of Game Boy. It was DS.
Yeah.
So there was still these older stocks in store, and I moved from one store to another, and they were still there. Did not exist in the system at all. Even if they did, we couldn't sell them. So I'm just like, done. I'll have that. I brought home like 3 Game Boy Advances.
Oh my god!
They're just sitting. I was like, these would be great to play. Legend of Zelda 4 Swords, and I don't have 3 other friends to play with.
Do you still have them?
Yeah. I've also got a red Game Boy Advance SP. My Game Boy Advance SP died a long time ago. It was this. I think I had a silver one, and it met a. I don't know how it died. Water damage. I don't know how, when, or why, but it happened. I've got a few Game Boy Advances.
I got rid of mine, and I'm so gutted. I really wish I'd kept that, but I got rid of it because, and I'll never forget it. Way back when, but just as the DS was announced for America, Japan, whatever, there was concept art in a Nintendo magazine. And I said to my mum and dad, I want that for Christmas. And Mum and Dad ordered it from America. So I think,
really? Yeah,
I think me and my brother were the first people to have a Nintendo DS in the UK.
Wow. So it probably was. It probably wasn't pre-vis art. It was probably, or renders or anything like that. It was probably the prototype versions with like the orange shoulder buttons and that in the magazine that you saw.
Do you know what? It wasn't even. It was literally a drawing. It was literally a sketch.
Oh.
Here's our new console. It was like
wow.
the worst. It was like a doodle. It wasn't even a sketch. It wasn't even actual proper concept art. It was somebody drawing boxes and saying, "We're going to make this."
Yeah.
And me saying to my mum, "I want that."
I don't even remember what year the DS came out now.
I was in primary school, maybe primary 6 or 7, so I would have maybe been about 9. So maybe about 2002, 2003 maybe?
I'm going to say, it was after high school for me, so 2003 plus.
Yeah.
The plan was, when me and my brother got them, the plan was to purchase them and spend the whole day on like a train going between the city and back near home and just like playing whatever games we had across like this wireless technology using the PictoChat feature because there's some other person might be on the train and they might join in on the PictoChat, and it's like one, we never did that, and two, for good reason, because there was never anyone around using PictoChat.
Yeah. I think we used it once when we were on a plane somewhere, and this other child, who couldn't write, was using PictoChat. It was literally just scribbles. I think this child was. Yeah. I don't think the parents realised this kid was on PictoChat.
Yeah.
But yeah, that memory holds a special place in my. Getting consoles from my parents always holds a special place in my heart, because I've told you the story about when I got the Xbox 360.
I don't think so. No.
So, my dad. It sounds like I'm going off on a tangent. I'm not. My dad worked for BT, British Telecom, as we know, and he used to do a lot of shifts on Christmas Day because you were getting like triple pay to sit and do nothing. You know,
it would pay for Christmas.
Exactly. It was too good. The money was too good for him to say no. And we were like, we're old enough, we don't mind. So we would get up at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We would get up early so that we could, open our presents with Dad and he could go off to work and whatever.
Yeah.
So we did that, got our presents, and opened our main things and stuff. And then Dad was like, "Oh, Mitchell, you come out and help me take some stuff in." And I'm just sitting there on the couch. My mom's like, "You need to go out and help Dad." And I was like, "Why?" She's like, "No, you need to go out." It's Christmas, do I have to? She's like, "Yes." I was like, "Okay." And I get out to the garage, and Mitchell had got a pool table that was set up in the garage.
Wow.
And there was a bag there for me that was the Xbox 360.
Nice. So
yeah, that holds a fun place.
I would have been excited with both of those things, a pool table and an Xbox 360. That's a good Christmas.
Yeah. So.
See, it was one year. It was 1997, I guess. Mm-hmm. When the first time I ever saw a Nintendo 64 is in Australia. They had this like a van, I guess it was, that would go around the country. And this was before the 64 had been released, at least in Australia. And it had like panels on the side which opened up, and there was TVs behind it with Nintendo 64 consoles. Uh-huh. And this was to show it off. And the first time I saw it was at Mirrabooka Square Shopping Centre. Mm-hmm. And we hadn't heard of it. We were not savvy to the internet or anything like that, so we had no clue. And we saw it, and it's like, oh, it's 3D game, so it must be like a PlayStation or something. And then my mom was like, no, it's definitely Nintendo. Look, it says Nintendo. We're like, what the fuck? That's not possible. And we see like Mario 64 and being played in that, and the lines were so long, we didn't get it. We didn't get the opportunity to play them. But that year, apparently it had already been discussed. Oh, are you going to get a PlayStation or a Nintendo 64 for Christmas? This was like between the three of us, three brothers. And it's like, I don't remember this conversation. Of course it's a Nintendo 64. And yeah, so that was, I like to consider that the first real console we were purchased. Like before then, my brother had a NES, an NES, a Nintendo Entertainment System, which was purchased brand new for his birthday one year. But the Super Nintendo was already out, so it was already an old console at the time. Yeah. We didn't have a Super Nintendo until much later, which I'll tell you about it later because I only reread this thing I wrote about it, which never got published.
Yeah.
But I want your opinion on it. Actually, I might publish it and we'll get the cheese bag's opinion on it as well. Because I was reading it and I don't remember writing it and I was laughing at it. So I must be pretty fucking funny. That's all I want to know as well, if people find it funny or not. But before then, we would get multiple years Sega consoles.
Yeah.
Which secondhand, obviously. But we got the Sega Master System and the Mega Drive or Genesis in the US. And of course, there's no good way to give a console and games as a gift unless it's all packaged as one thing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's like, well, we'll give you this one first. You open it, it's a game. It's like, well, gee, I wonder what else is going to be appearing in this wrapping paper.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got, but we liked them as well. We weren't aware of like console wars between Nintendo and Sega. We didn't give a shit. It was just video games to us.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was Sega that started the whole console war thing, wasn't it?
Because Sega does what Nintendo don't.
But on it, just as a side note, Sega Mega Drive is a much better name than Sega Genesis.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's got the rhyming and because we do have a Mega Drive kicking about with the original Sonic and stuff.
Yep.
And it's dead funny. It's because it's actually my dad's, and he set it up maybe 3 times on his own, and he can't play it.
Yeah.
He can't get Sonic to move. And Sonic just stands there tapping his foot.
So the controller or something is fucked.
No, it's just him. It's just him.
You push right and the end, right and A.
Yeah.
Down every now and then.
Yeah. I keep saying that I need to get him set up on, like, get him a PlayStation, get him set up, and he's like, I can't do stuff like that. I was like, I think it would be funny.
You can play them all on, like, if you like Sonic, then he's probably, by the sounds of it, he's never played Sonic.
Yeah. He's seen Sonic.
Yeah.
He's
give
seen
him
the
Sonic
character
06.
on the screen.
Yeah. So he knows the blue hedgehog.
Yeah. Because I've got a second controller for the PlayStation 5, so I keep threatening, I'm going to bring it downstairs and we're going to play something. He's like, no.
What was the first console you purchased with your own money then?
I think it was the Nintendo 2DS. And it would have been...
Yep, okay.
I can remember when I purchased it and why. I bought it 2016 on Amazon so that it would arrive April 1st, 2016 for my birthday. Yep. And then the year after, I'm sure it's the year after, 17 or 18 anyway, I bought the Nintendo Switch.
Okay, wow. That's... All right. So my first console that I purchased with my own money, yes, it would have technically the Game Boy Advance then. But then it would have been like that. I consider that a handheld, not a console. The first home console was the GameCube.
Oh, I suppose if we're actually talking home consoles, Switches, technically.
Yeah. Video game system. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so ever since the GameCube, everything has been purchased with my own money, which makes me sad that I have to spend that money myself now.
Yeah, I enjoy buying my own consoles because you get it, you know it's coming, you know there's the thrill of the purchase. But I do miss the days when you get a console for Christmas.
See, I lost the thrill of the purchase from working in a video game store. It ruins the adventure because there was adventures on buying video games and video game related stuff.
Yeah.
It's like getting the console the first time, like the GameCube. We purchased, I think it was with Rogue Squadron. Yeah. But the game we really wanted was Super Smash Brothers, which didn't come out till like a week later or something like that. And we only had one controller with the GameCube, but we convinced my dad. It was his suggestion. He's like, look, if you buy the game, I will buy you a second controller. It's like, yes, but we don't have enough money for that. No, we did. He didn't have enough cash on him or whatever to purchase the game. And my brother had a big trash bin with a plastic bag in it that he would just put all his loose change in. So my dad was like, all right, it's like $100 for a controller, right? So he had some notes, and we made up the rest with coins, like a lot of coins from this trash basket. And to make sure they were all right, we counted it all before at home on the kitchen sink. I don't know why on the kitchen sink. And then we put it all in a plastic bag and took it there. And when we are paying for this controller and Super Smash Brothers Melee, the person at the counter, she's counting off the coins. She's halfway through and she just looks up and says, "Why is this money wet?"
Oh,
Me and Ryan, we just lose it laughing. I was like, it's okay. It was because it was counted on the kitchen sink. It was just a weird thing to think that we didn't even consider that the money was going to be wet.
oh, yuck.
So adventures like that just got ruined from working in a video game store because it's like, oh, this game is out today. Cool. Off the shelf.
Yeah. Yeah, like, because I didn't play or buy consoles for a long time.
Yeah.
But I think maybe must have been 2018, I got a PlayStation. First, like, because I think I'd sold my Xbox by this point. Because it's like, I don't play it. I finished the games I want to play. The only thing I was putting it up for was Castlevania. And I was like, I've completed this game. There's nothing to do. It's not connected to the internet, so there's no achievements.
Yeah.
Nah, just hand it in. So I got a PlayStation, and this was just after I had glandular fever. So I was like I had no concentration. I was like trying to find something to build that up or something to kill time. And that actually helped a lot. And that was so exciting getting that. Honestly, so exciting. And even buying like the PlayStation 5 now, because that's the first one I've bought launch day.
That buying the PS5 more than anything was fucking stressful.
Oh yeah, because I didn't buy the PlayStation 5 launch day. I bought the Xbox. I pre-ordered the Xbox for launch.
Getting consoles at the moment it's not easy.
It's a roulette. It's
literally refreshing a website so many times. Luckily, my brother didn't even get a launch console. I got the launch console. He couldn't get one.
Yeah.
And we ended up, when there was a second batch of consoles, we were both on the same website, refreshing, getting them, and we both ended up buying one. So we ended up with 3 consoles in the end.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to scalp it. I sold it at a reasonable price.
Yeah, because I got the PlayStation 5 for my birthday last year. Yeah, it must have been my birthday last year, but I got the digital version. And then obviously I realised that I couldn't play stuff like Deadpool or anything I actually had on disc on it.
That you already owned, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, well, because even with Deadpool, it's not on the store.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, oh. So I had to look. I tried to get a PlayStation 5 disc version, found that, got it for a couple of weeks before my birthday this year, and sold the disc version, the digital version. So I feel like a bit like an arsehole because I'm like, I've already been lucky, but
yeah. Well, this last batch, it's either they've had more consoles or they're selling slower, but like 9 hours after they went available for pre-order, they were still available.
I think they've managed to make more. I remember
this was like this last week.
Yeah. To go very, very technical into it, it's a new model. It's not a new PlayStation. It's a new model where they've like trimmed some stuff down. They've moved some stuff. It's a bit lighter. Yeah. So they've managed to. I think they've managed to actually make more.
Yeah.
So
back in the day, new models. We would go for all of the new models working in a video game store. Mm-hmm. We had the ability to. I mean, talking about working in a video game store, when I first started working for Game, there was still shortage of Wiis. So nothing's changed really, I guess.
Yeah. But the Wii was something else though. That took on a life of its own. There's still a Wii because my grandpa lives at sheltered housing, and in their lounge there's still a Wii kicking about in there for the field folk.
It's something that they can easily play.
Yeah, I don't think they do play it anymore, but certainly there was a good long time where grandpa would go down and play golf on the Wii.
Yeah. working at Dick Smith Electronics with Graham. He loved the Wii because he loved Wii bowling. And because I set it up so, to sell them. And you're not really meant to do that at the time at the store. But boss was fine with it. The manager was fine. And every day we would play Wii bowling when there was no one in store. And one of the other guys, he had a 7-10 split, right? Which is like the two pins on the opposite corners. No, it was me. I had the 7-10 split. And I turned and said to him, if I pick this up, what will you give me? He's like, I'll give you $1 million. And of course, I picked it up and he just like walks out of the store. But no, Graham loved it. So older people did like the Switch, I reckon, more than younger people.
Yeah. I did go through a phase.
Not the Switch, the Wii.
Yeah. Well, I think I've said to you before, I went through a phase in the pandemic where I was buying old consoles and kind of tinkering about with them. I do have a Wii U sitting up in the attic, and I did make them all the consoles I bought, I put them in working order. So I've got a GameCube, I've got a Wii U, but it's just bad. It's just bad. And
what do you mean bad?
Just bad. It's just horrible to play.
Yeah,
and storefront and stuff, and I think that's maybe because it's aged poorly. But like, wow,
Wii U is not great. But there are some good games on it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
My brother sent me a comic day before. I can't remember exactly what it was. Hang on, I'll find it. So it's a comic of a guy holding up a video game, and the video game is Super Mario Galaxy. And he says, does anybody else remember this old gem? And he's being like celebrated and like, yay, we remember it. And there's a guy saying, what? That game just came out. And then the last couple of panels is that guy is actually an old guy with a walking frame and saying, oh God. And I kind of like, oh yeah, funny, whatever. And then with the Nintendo Direct, right, they announced Pikmin 4. Pikmin 3 came out on Wii U. And I'm like, there was a long time between Pikmin 2 and Pikmin 3. And I did the maths. When Pikmin 4 comes out, more time will have passed between the release of Pikmin 3 and Pikmin 4 than what Pikmin 2 and Pikmin 3 was.
Is that a lot? Like, is that a
like
meme? That meme I'm not getting.
I think it was 9 years between Pikmin 2 and Pikmin 3. Oof. And it's going to be like 11 years between Pikmin 3 and Pikmin 4.
So, by that logic...
So what I'm saying is, it felt like such a long fucking time between 2 and 3, and it feels like nothing between 3 and 4.
That's weird.
And so I lived that goddamn comic and didn't even realise it.
Yeah.
It's now time for an unannounced promotional break.
This show is brought to you by Podcast.
Correct. I don't know the name of the podcast.
The name of the podcast is Bread and Butter, a Hearthstone podcast, which is a new podcast from our buddy Tito. And
hi, Tito.
His co-host, hi, Tito, and his co-host, Doc. And I don't know anything about Hearthstone, but I like trading card games.
Oh, I know.
And I like online things.
A game from a game. It's a game within a game. I heard you like games, so we're putting a game in your game so you can game while you game.
So I think I'll be checking that out to see what's up. I do like collecting things, and we love Tito, and we support our pals in the show. And if you see the banner on their Twitter, their cover art, it may seem very familiar to you.
I stumbled across that by accident and I saw it. I was like, oh, wow, that's something that Brogan never told me was happening. Brogan never said that they were doing any artwork. And then I saw something else, like the Hey Scoops artwork. I was like, Brogan never told me that was happening either. But apparently it all happened like the morning when I was asleep.
It literally all happened within like a 2 or 3 hour period.
I'm not saying you have to tell me about every single art project you do. I just felt a little left out.
I felt so bad.
I felt a little left out. That was all.
That's why I sent you the final one before I posted it. I was like, here's a preview, I'm sorry. With the abomination that I committed art crimes and ICS endorsed them.
Yeah.
With the hunky pigs that turned into the hunky boys.
We don't know when this fake advertisement is getting inserted into the show, but you're going into like art talk, and spoilers, there is no art talk in this episode.
We completely forgot to talk about this, but yes, Brogan made Art Crimes. There's nothing much to tell. Brogan made Art Crimes.
Yeah.
And did a commission.
There was butts.
And that's... Yes, pig butts. Big butts. I made a joke and Slicking said, I want that for ICS. And I said, cool. Try getting that past the boys. And they took it. My late 3 a.m. doodle.
And there is our fake advertisement segment. Brought to you by what we already said.
Games are good.
We did a lot of video game talk today,
a lot
isn't
of video
it?
game talk. You know.
Speaking of
cheese
video
bags,
games,
what should I play next?
Yeah.
What game should I try
actually,
to platinum next?
we are gonna try and play Portal 2 co-op mode on Twitch.
Yeah.
So cheese bags can watch.
Yeah. Because I've never played, I think we said this before, I've never played any of the Portal games. I'm aware of them. I know the plots and memes and stuff, but never played them.
I'm playing Portal 2 at the moment, and legitimately, it might be the best game within the last decade. It is a good game.
When you say best game within the last decade, do you mean this re-release or do you mean Portal in general? Because I think Portal's older than a decade old.
Portal 2, hang on. Portal 2. Portal 2 came out in 2011.
So yeah, 11 years ago. So just over a decade.
Whatevs.
I thought it was 2007. That's why I was like...
No, that'd be Portal 1 in Orange Box.
It's the Orange Box I'm thinking of. That's what it is.
But yes, Portal 2 is a very good game. It doesn't do much, if anything, wrong.
Yeah.
And we've talked about Portal before, so we're not going to talk about it more. But we're still talking about video games then. So I've got some complaints about video games if we want to hear them.
Oh.
It's not so much video games, but it's coffee talk worthy, I guess.
Let's go for it.
All right. Coffee talk theme now, which we don't have. It might be the turtle talking. Let's go with
time for coffee talk.
It's time for coffee talk. Saving those turtles one straw at a time.
So let's start with coffee talk being not about video games and not even about coffee, because it's the usual complaints. It's just like sizing and making them wrong and that. And look, it bothers me, but I don't do anything about it. So it's my fault as well. So we're not talking about that. But it starts off with building a shelf. Yesterday, I built a shelf.
Ooh.
And I'm like, you know what? This is going to be good for me. It's going to be cathartic because it's flat pack furniture. It's probably going to anger me a bit. I'm probably going to do stuff wrong. Gives me the opportunity to rage at something unimportant. Of course, went swimmingly. So I didn't get to have that release. I made it no issues, no problems. Like, whatever. But then my computer starts fucking up on me.
Oh, yeah.
That's not I don't want rages for real reasons. Mm-hmm. It's been... Yeah, that's that. I've tried working on it for like 2 hours, trying to get it working nicely and properly, and still no good. So it's like, I'm going to play some video games. What should I play? I know. I purchased Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, months ago or whatever. Maybe I should play that. So I put the disc in the PS5 console for the first time. A game needs to install off the disc, and it's not installing. It just says error, random error. I was like, okay, I mustn't have enough space. So I go into my space area. What's it called? Storage. Yeah. And I'll go into my space area, and I just delete some games that I'm not playing at the moment. And I'm like, I check the back of the case. 45 gig is all you need. It's like, cool. I've got 54 gig available. I hit the install button. Still nothing, still error. So, okay, I'll reset the console. Still won't do it. It's like, this is some fucking bullshit. I did some research into it. Turns out you need more space to install the game. Yes, it only needs 45 gig, but you needed like 70 gig free. This is any game as well. You need a buffer of like 20, 30 gig or something for it to be able to install.
Oh, right.
Doesn't make any sense.
I had no idea. I suppose because I don't keep a lot of games saved, like downloaded on my console. I keep Penn and Teller VR, and I keep Saints Row the Third installed as a backup. And once that's played, that will go, and I'll download another one that's a backup if the internet's not working.
It's easy enough to re-download the actual game, but you just keep your save files anyway.
Yeah.
Or on the cloud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I've
interrupting
never experienced that problem. How very odd. Just basically say I've never had that problem because I don't save games, and I don't know if I should be doing that, if I should be keeping games downloaded to my console, but it seems like a lot of people do, and I'm like,
you don't need to. No, it's not at all. They're available to re-download at any time,
Exactly.
currently in the world we live in. Just becomes a problem if you want to play games on newer systems.
I even, like, once I'm done with a game, like finished a game, I know I'm not going to play it. It's on my collection, hide. I'm like, I don't want to see that on my list.
Yeah, just so it doesn't show up on the front screen or what?
No, so when you go into your collection and you're looking at all your games.
When I go into my space area, yeah.
In your space area, and it lists all the games that are on your system, or on your account even. If you can click and hide them, so it just doesn't show up in your list, and it looks like you don't have them. You can show them up again.
Yeah, you can unhide them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I like to see which ones that I plan on playing.
Okay, that's all right then.
Yeah. Especially when you get stuff like on PS Plus, and you're like, I'm getting this because it's free.
Yeah.
I'm never going to play this.
Well, that's good. I'm going to start hiding shit on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's brought me back down to earth a little bit through Coffee Talk. Mm-hmm. There's a solution to a problem. But I do have one more thing to discuss. Mm-hmm. And this is, if anything, it's just to keep our stature as the #1 license plate talk podcast.
It's been a while. Let's have an update.
It has. So, yeah, all right. We're out of Coffee Talk. We're into license plate talk, vanity plates.
License plate talk theme. Someone make a theme for this.
I was driving, as one does when you mostly see license plates, and I was behind a minivan, right? Minivan, we know the type of people you expect to drive a minivan. Families. It's for families, basically. The license plate, it was the numeral 2, then the letters MNYKIDS. Too many kids. I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. It's a people mover you've got. You've got too many kids. And then I see the sticker on the back of the windshield that says, Mum Life. Make up your fucking mind, Susan. You got yourself into this mess. Is it too many kids, or are you a fucking mum for mum life? Yo, yeah, pounds chest. That's all about me, but I got too many kids. Fucking pick a lane.
It's like, this sounds like a you problem.
Yeah. It's like, not like, sure, mum life, put that on the back of your car, and too many kids on your license plate. You're just pushing too much information for me, who doesn't care about your life whatsoever, to say you have children. And it's crossing stream. Your messaging is not on point. You're saying that you hate your kids and you like your kids at the same time. You regret your life, but you love your life.
That's the thing I hate about. That's the thing I hate about all these parent TikTok online meme mum life things, when they're like, it's like you're having kids to complain about kids. Like, just don't have kids. You don't have to have kids.
That's probably the
you can
way
get
to
cats,
go in this
you
world.
can get dogs. If you live in Perth, Australia, you can get pigs.
That's right. Oh, yeah, we got to post those images, yeah. We're recording this a couple of days after the latest episode just launched, so we need to put some photos up on Instagram and Twitter and all that. Speaking of Twitter, the results of the latest poll, which we talked about last episode, it's finalised. As expected, I recovered a little bit. I'm happy with these results.
You made a desperate plea, scratching Mufasa hanging off the cliff. Brother, help me.
How dare you suggest such a thing?
That's 100% what you did. It's like, please, please give me some dignity. You got like 2 extra votes, and I'm not convinced one of them wasn't you.
No, it wasn't. None of them were me. Oh, no, I did vote for myself eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
But we ended up with a 30% split, which, acceptable.
Yeah.
Very acceptable. Mm-hmm. But speaking of which, should we go into an accent challenge?
We shall.
We shall. Now, we were talking about Highlander and Christopher Lambert, a.k.a. Christophe Lambert. So why don't we go for a Highlander quote?
I think we should, yes.
Good, because we already lined one up.
Behind the scenes talk.
Yeah.
We've totally not discussed this before.
No. But we're going to try something a little bit different, and we're going to play the quote, an audio version of the quote first for you dear listeners to hear, for something to compare us against. I mean, now this is when Connor McLeod reveals himself to the love interest in the film. Now, Christopher Lambert, I think he is attempting a Scottish accent. Either way, we're going to be doing better. So we are both winners in this challenge.
Yeah.
I am Conor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod. I was born in 1518 in the village of Glenfinnan on the shores of Loch Shiel. And I am immortal.
You know, the bar is so fucking low.
Oh, if this was a limbo competition, no one would pass this round.
No.
So we just need to discuss. Oh, how we doing? We're both doing Aussie and Scottish. Is that the plan here?
We're both definitely doing Scottish.
Oh, so that means we're both doing Aussie then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you want to do it in an Aussie accent and I do it in a Scottish accent, or...
Well, that we have to. We do that naturally anyway.
Yeah.
We have this discussion every time. But look, all right.
Sometimes we do different accents and we don't know what we're going to do until it gets to this point.
Well, yeah, to be fair, we did do... To be fair, we did do the American accent last time. So I think we need to stick more to our roots.
Yeah.
And we'll go for... who went first last time? I think it was me, wasn't it? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So it's your turn to go first for this very fine Connor McLeod revelation speech. It's not really a speech, it's a couple of lines. And then, of course, I like the idea of having music behind it, so I'm going to play like some sort of bagpipe music or something.
I hear bagpipe music on the regular.
Yes.
That's not even like...
It means nothing to you.
It really does. I mean, there's always weddings outside my work. It's ridiculous.
Well, when we do an Aussie quote, we'll have like didgeridoos playing.
The same music, but as didgeridoos.
Or that there's a mouth thing that it goes boing 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 boing. I can't remember what it's called.
The boing boing thing.
Yeah, I'll link you to that later.
Right.
All right. Anytime you are ready.
We're just doing our own accents first and then switching.
Just your accent. Yep. Do it with passion. We're not just reading it. We're just not reading it for the sake of reading it. We're trying to convey emotion.
I am Connor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod. I was born in 1518 in the village of Glenfinnan on the shores of Loch Shiel, and I am immortal.
Amazing. I'm sad that he didn't say he was the Highlander, because then we would have been able to applaud like movie night.
That's true. Should we just add that?
Should we have applause? We'll edit in some applause. Yeah, let's do
And I am
that.
immortal. And I am... no, hang on. I am immortal. And I am the Highlander.
Yeah. No, that felt forced.
Yeah.
We can't force our way to do it. See, look, already, Scottish accent versus Scottish accent, you've kicked the shit out of Christopher Lambert.
I have.
Go home, Christophe Lambert. Okay, I guess that means I need to do my Aussie accent of this. Yep. Okay. Here we go. I'm like you. It's like I've forgotten how to speak in an Australian accent. Because you want to, if you want to go into like the accent that it's in, don't you? Mm-hmm. All right. Here we go. I'm Connor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod. I was born in 1518 in the village of Glenfinnan on the shores of Loch Shiel, and I am immortal. There we go.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound that great for like this big reveal moment in a movie, does it?
Yeah, but at the same time, we're not including the part where he gives the knife to her and makes her stab him.
Oh yeah, stabby little bitch. Yeah, I'm talking about Christopher Lambert there, not her.
Yeah.
All right, we need to transmorph our accents. Mm-hmm. So there's I think before we went diddly-doo and whatever, but we're not doing that. That's just silly. Mm-hmm. Sound effect is going to be edited in here in post.
Excuse me, I am the only sound effect on this podcast.
So Brogan, what's it like? How does it feel to now be Australian?
All I can think is Monty Python and Bruce.
What about
G'day,
Bruce the
Bruce.
Shark? Oh, g'day, Bruce. So, do you need a keyword or a key phrase to get into it?
Bruce Ayres in charge of the sheep dip. I think I'm all right. I think I can.
Yeah. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm assuming that is from the Monty Python thing.
That is. Do you know that bit?
No, I don't.
They're all philosophers. That's where the philosopher songs come from.
Oh, okay.
Which you have no idea what I'm talking about, so I will have to link it to you later.
I'm just going to give you a bit of a tip here for doing this in an Australian accent. The first word should keep you in it the whole time. So it's not just I, it's I.
I.
I
I don't know if I'm meant to just keep going or if you're just like expecting me to repeat it. Go on to I am.
I am. No, see, that didn't sound right. So I
don't know if I'm meant to go up.
Look, on your cue.
Right, we are waiting on
Oh, no, I don't know what we're doing.
We are unprofessional.
Yeah. I'm just buying time because I don't... Oh, sorry. You started. I was just saying I'm buying time because I don't want to do the Scottish accent.
I'm Conor McLeod of the Clan McLeod. I was born in 850... I'm going to start again because I said that wrong.
That's fine, yeah.
And you threw me off.
We can do second takes. I wasn't even talking. What are you talking about?
Because I'd already started. And then you talked
the first
over
time,
me.
yeah. Yep, that's fair.
Right. Are you done? Have you anything to say? You're good. You're shaking your head. I think I've given Wayne a complex.
Heaven forbid I throw you up again.
Right. Should we have the 1, 2, 3 clap for starting accents? I am Conor McLeod, the Clan McLeod. I was born in 1518 in the village of Glenfinnan on the shores of Loch Shiel, and I am immortal.
It's very good. When you were doing that, I feel like when you said Loch Shiel, you could have not skipped a beat and gone with Loch Sheila to make it even more Aussie.
Yeah.
That's how good that accent was.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to do this Scottish. I need to find my keyword. It's a well-known fact, Sonny Jim. But then I could do my Sean Connery. He is in the movie. Mm-hmm. You're immortal, Highlander. You cannot die. Is canna a word?
Canny, yeah.
And what does that mean?
Cannot.
Oh, good. So it is right.
So nay. So nay is not. Essentially, nay. Nay is no.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You can't do that.
Got ya.
You can't.
You canna. All right. I may need a couple of goes as well. It's a well-known fact, Sonny Jim. I am Conor McLeod. Okay. I'm going for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Conor McLeod of the Clan McLeod. I was born in 1518 in the village of Glenfinnan on the shores of Loch Shiel, and I am immortal.
Ooh, that was very good.
I feel like that was a strong one. That could be
I feel
my
like that
first strong.
accent. I feel like that accent will be Yvonne approved.
Ooh, very good. Though I was not trying to channel Mike Myers.
No, you were channeling Sean Connery. Different.
No, I wasn't. No. Sean Connery is an accent of his own, really.
Yeah, that's...
I think Sean Connery even said one time that he is just trying to live up to Sean Connery when it comes to his voice.
Sean Connery is a state of mind.
That's right. I mean, Sean Connery is also quoted of saying it's fair game to hit a woman with an open palm, so...
If we can hit him back, that's all right with
me.
Yeah,
there you go. So, on that note, dear listeners, go to Twitter and @NicePodBud and vote for who you think performed better. And as always, use your own voting criteria. We don't care. Mm-hmm. Look, it may sound like that I complain when I lose, but who doesn't complain when they lose? We're just having fun. So, yeah, vote for either Brogan or myself. And you can even comment and not leave a reason why. You can hint to why. You can do whatever you want. We appreciate it all.
And if we look like we're complaining, we're not, because we only complain about things that we can laugh about. So it's never real complaining. So have at it. But don't tell me if you vote for Wayne over me, because I will cry. Thanks.
If we've got something to complain about you, we will complain to your goddamn face, and then you will know that we are complaining.
Yeah.
Or you might show up on Coffee Talk, and then you know it's serious. But yeah, at NicePodBud on Twitter, be pinned to the top of our profile. You can also find us on other social medias, Facebook, Instagram, even on that Tumblr thing. I posted something on Imager yesterday as well. So, mate, you can find us at NicePodBud at all social media. If you want to talk to us, if you've got any questions for the show, any statements for us, you can either go to nicepodbud.com and use the contact form at the top of the page, or you can email us, admin@nicepodbud.com.
And keep an eye out on Twitch as well, because we're both dropping in and out. We don't know when and what we'll do.
What are you on Twitch? Is it at 7 billion needles?
I am. I was at 7 billion scoops for a while, but then it felt weird. So I'm back to 7 billion needles.
Cool. And I believe that is also Twitter at 7 billion needles if you want to talk to Brogan.
Everything I could get my grubby little hands on is 7 billion needles. And if you want to talk to Wayne at any social media, apart from Facebook, it's at Wayne Geo.
That's right. That includes Twitch. I mean, on Twitch, I mostly do comic drawing streams. Usually it is Saturday mornings, 8:30 a.m. West Australia Standard Time. You do the time conversion. I'm not doing it for you. Or you can just go to my Twitch schedule, and that will tell you in your local time. Other than that, go to iTunes and leave us a review. We've only got one review so far, and it's by me, trying to drum up attention for more reviews. And Brogan, I hear that people should be like keeping an eye on our like social space for some reason. Is that right?
I think they should, because if for any reason you like the show and maybe want something about it upon your person, on your body,
then go get a tattoo of "Hey buddy, nice podcast."
Yes, please do. But no, please don't.
No,
please don't.
That's terrible.
No, please don't. That's a bad idea. That's a bad idea.
Fucking
abort.
Idiot if you do that. Never, ever. And but if you do, pics or it didn't happen.
Absolutely. But if you would like to support the show in some small, tiny way, keep an eye out on our socials for a possible merch announcement coming soon.
You can have us on your bodies. Not in that way. Don't think like that.
It was inevitable. There's two artists here. Of course we were going to have merch. But yeah, it's possibly coming sooner than we thought.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for stopping by.
And as always, stay fresh, cheese bags. Stay fresh, cheese bags. Stay fresh, cheese bags.